Hi, I'm Iris Bolling.
And I'm MidnightAce.
I'm Cara Morris.
Welcome to Well, There You Go, a weekly discussion on books, hooks, and courts, where we give our views on reads, music, and wine. So let's get started with
Well, there you go.
Well, hello, and welcome to Well, There You Go. How is everyone doing out there today? I hope you all are doing well. MsPrissy, we can cut the music now. Thank you. I mean, really, we can cut the music now.
He said, really, we can cut the music now.
We can really cut it down. So there we go. Okay. How's everybody doing? It's so great to have you here with us today, where we are continuing our discussion with the Stylesetters clan. So the Gems and Gents, if you've been following us, is a series that we have been doing, and now we're up to book 5, 6. We're somewhere in there. It's 11 of them all together.
Yeah.
And today we get to talk about the baby boy Adam Stylesetters, who is really one of those who have just
he superseded everybody almost. Well, I'm not going to say he superseded, because Fire is the one who really.
But it's the two, and then here's the thing: it's the two youngest ones.
Yeah, that's true.
Really, it's the two youngest ones who have really taken things over. But before we get started, I have to take a moment. I have to introduce you.
Y'all are breaking up.
Introduce you guys to our co-host, MsPrissy. MsPrissy, stop frowning and stop talking about things that's supposed to be in the background while the listening audience is here. Okay, say hello, MsPrissy.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you, MsPrissy, so very much. Midnight, would you be so kind as to say hello to the listening audience?
Hey, y'all. Thanks for joining us. I hope y'all ready for another great story.
Yeah, and I am, of course, Iris Bolling, and I am actually the author of the Book of Adam, Hypnotic. But I am not here today as the author. I am here today as the host of this discussion about this young man who has really wormed his way into our hearts, y'all.
He sure did, with his fedora and all, honey.
Fedora and all, yes, ma'am. So, ladies, let's start with this. Tell me, how excited were you to get to Adam's story, or did you anticipate another story before Adam?
I think for me, yeah. I was excited to get to Adam's story because we know that Adam had touched so many things prior to even him getting the story because of his inventions. We knew he designed Genevieve, who we all love because Joshua had her. And
Yeah.
And then when he was going to school, we saw him in his element when he was blowing up the lab, and
True.
I don't know. I just didn't know what to expect from Adam. I think I expected great things from him, but I had no idea that it was so many layers to him.
Yes.
So I was excited to get to that and dive deep into what Adam was really all about.
Yeah. What about you, MsPrissy? What did you think about Adam when he came along?
I thought Adam was very intelligent from the beginning. When in Diamond's story, when they were getting an update about Diamond and her mother-in-law, and he questioned Amber about the information she was giving the family. And
who was a doctor at the time? Who was the doctor on the case? Amber.
Yes. Yes. And I think the whole family of Stylesetters was shocked.
Right?
He was asking her the question.
True.
Yeah, it was, and then I knew that he was going to be, something special. then
Did y'all
the
when they
question.
had that scene, Miss Prissy, did you get the feeling that you would see Amber again?
I kind of did because the both of them are the type, they have the type of personality that they're not going to be bested by no one. I didn't know how you was going to get them together again, but I knew that they paths would cross again. I almost thought, really, I almost thought that when Joe got shot, I thought
You
that
would see Amber.
he would be Amber again. That's what I really thought.
But we know by that time Amber had moved on from her residency because that was during her residency.
Hmm.
And she had moved on. Now she was working for the government,
Yeah.
right? Along with her father. Along with her father. We're gonna talk about her
Right.
father and her mother in a little bit. But we also knew that there were people that wanted Adam for his mind, right?
Hmm.
We knew some of the things that he had invented. And one of the last things he invented before he graduated from college was this device called JMalt. Do y'all remember what JMalt stands for?
It's the brothers of the
Yes.
shoes.
Joshua, um, J. Mo. Oh, Joshua,
Joshua, Matt,
Matthew, and
Adam,
Adam, Luke,
Luke,
and
Timothy, and
Samuel.
Samuel.
No, Timothy and Samuel.
Okay, so I have a little thing here that
Mo.
this was profound that you wrote this in there. We all know that Joshua is the spiritual one. They're all
Right.
spiritual, but we know Joshua is the most spiritual one. But in here, he says when they are acknowledging what Jamal really mean, him and Samuel are talking. He says, they talk about the Alpha and the Omega. He comes in and explains to them what he did, and he says, "You two are the Alpha and the Omega of the last of the family. Joshua is the beginning, Samuel is the end. The other brothers are in the middle to support the power the two of you possess." And I think we see this in this story, especially when they are, doing their civic duty and family duty to protect Adam because they knew something was awry, you know.
Mhm.
Right.
That is exactly was his thinking when he actually
Mm.
named it, and it was like, I think the question came up, why Samuel wasn't first,
Right,
and his thing was Samuel is the strong one. This Samuel is the one who can uphold
exactly.
all of the
Everybody
others,
falls on
everybody
the
else.
shoulders of Samuel. Yes,
Right.
yes.
And that
I don't know about you, Miss Iris. There,
I know I got a little bit,
yeah,
something,
a little
something
bit of
going on up
something
there,
there.
girl. A little bit something, and that's it. But Miss Prissy, tell me your thoughts.
Yes, Miss Iris.
They tell me your thoughts on Adam's graduation. All the things that led up to that graduation day for Adam,
I love the hologram. The speech
which is
too,
something
but the
else that he
hologram
had
is cute.
created,
Oh, right
right?
about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, wouldn't you
Yes, he
love to
did.
have McFadden and Whitehead on the stage performing uh, for you when they're not there for real?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I could picture the face of all of the deans and everybody. they
Well,
they were
that
probably
happened
nervous.
because they didn't know what he was going to do, right?
Exactly.
And what was the dean's favorite name for Adam?
Dennis the Menace.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis the Menace,
Dennis the Menace.
because he always had good intentions, right, with everything that he did.
Mhm.
But just like when you're inventing something, you don't know how it's going to turn out until it turns out, and some of it turns out, pretty good.
But you know what's ironic about
Yes.
that? You notice how in the stories we read how even when they go to the Renaissance Club, Joshua has to drop off an envelope of money before he can be seated in that club because normally his reputation precedes him as blowing up stuff. And who else has that
Yeah.
reputation now? You
Yeah.
can't leave him alone because when you find young Adam so that he won't blow up anything because he can't be left alone. So that to me, it's like Adam is just, even though he tried to carve off, we talk about this, all of the Laskins, as we read their stories, they try to have a little bit of themselves in there, which is
Right.
impossible to have that in a story, in a family like this. But Adam is truly a little bit of Samuel and a little bit of Joshua, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? With all the other people sprinkled in, but just to have them sandwiched together is a perfect, photo op for them.
Right. I think that it is important to understand Amber too. Amber's a deep sister, right? And we
Yeah.
we we learn just how deep she is. So I think it's important that we understand Amber as well. So tell me your thoughts on Amber, Miss Prissy.
On my thoughts in regards to the siblings or just
No, Amber, on
Adam.
Amber. Yeah. Remember when we first meet her, she's the one that immediately knows that Dr. McCoy, who Adam has turned over the
Yes,
production of J Malt to. Remember, she's the first
right.
one that says that Dr. McCoy had been poisoned.
Poison. Yeah, she was. I love Amber. She was very astute when it came to like medicine and stuff, and for her to recognize that little bitty pinch where they, injected him, and here it was what two other FBI agents who
Agents were
who
standing in
couldn't
there.
right
Yep.
who couldn't identify that. And so I think Amber, she was good at what she did, but I also felt like, as Adam said, she needed some color in her life, you know, to
Well,
break up
she
all the
was she was
monotony.
kind of, but remember, Amber was the one that was in the car, and
And
what
she
was
was
it? The
asking
Jackson
for her
Five?
DNA.
Was it the Jackson Five that was playing?
I don't
And
remember.
it was
I'm
playing
not,
maybe tomorrow or something like that. Where she was singing, she'll get some love in her life, or it was one of the Jackson Five songs that was playing, and she was singing it, and she was saying maybe
mm-hmm.
tomorrow, and sure enough, it was tomorrow.
Yep,
Okay, it was tomorrow. Now
it sure was.
it
And
was.
she was so, she was like, this can't be. Like, it can't be. Because she thought Adam was so arrogant, you know, and everything.
Well, let's
But
be fair. He was arrogant. I
And he
mean,
said that. He admitted
well,
to that.
he couldn't help. I mean, what there's arrogance that's not um proven. But with Adam, he was arrogant, but he had proven all of these things. He had done these
yes, he
things.
did.
So, it was it really is that really considered arrogance, or is that, you know, hey, this is who I am. I'm the shit. What can I say? You know.
Right.
So
It
it
was
could be
who he
things
is.
like that.
But you know another thing too about this story and how you write. We're we your recent books with the pie organization and everything that we're thinking about now, that's present time. Now we're going back a little bit with Adam's book, but even with Adam there was a certain number of penetration through the ranks to try to get what they want, and we
Yep,
see that they had started this long before,
that's
because
right.
even in the class, the FBI class that he was entered in, there are plants there
Yes.
already ready. You know what I mean? So your world building, this brings us back to your world building of stories, and how you bring all the pieces together. Like you can literally follow these stories. And sometimes it's better with a series like this, that like we're doing now. We read each book and we gobble it up for the stories that's happening now. But when you have the whole complete puzzle and then you go back and reread it, you find stuff and you know that you
You
know,
see the progression
yeah,
of
you see
things. You see
exactly.
how things develop and how they grow over time, because we all know nothing stays the same,
Yeah.
right? Nothing stays the same. So you see the progression of Adam,
Hmm.
with the things that he started out with. And then once he does, remember his whole thing is he wants to go into the FBI.
Hmm.
Yes, he is this inventor of these great things that the government they're just buying up. Anything that Adam touched, they want first dibs at it, right? So he's doing all these things, and he could be anything that he wanted to be, but his whole thing is he wants to be an FBI agent,
Yeah.
and he wants to do that because that's how his brother Joshua started. His brother Joshua started as an FBI agent, and then he quickly was pulled into um, the CIA, but he started as an FBI agent, and Adam wanted to be like his brother, right? Both of them,
Yeah.
But
like both of
it was funny though because he wanted to be
Oh, wait a
like
minute,
them,
Paula.
but he didn't want to be like them.
them, right? He wanted to. He In a way, all of these Lassiters are a little insecure.
Yes, perfectly said.
All
Perfectly
of
said.
them
Mhm.
are a little insecure, and they're insecure because each one of them before them has done great things. And so they're not sure if they can live up to what the other one did, but they don't have to. All they have to do
Right.
is be themselves, is be themselves. And it automatically comes for this Lassiter group, you know and let's talk about, we talked a little bit before the broadcast. We talked a little bit about how each one of these Lassiters really bond with each other and how they support each other even when it came to their college education,
Hmm.
because all of the older Lassiters, which was Samuel, Joshua, and Ruby, they did not get to go to school. Samuel went to the service, Joshua went to
Military. Mhm.
FBI,
Hmm.
and Ruby went straight into government service. So what they did was their family wasn't rich. They were working average Joes, right? And so to take the burden off of just their parents, what they did is they all combined their money along with their parents and paid for each of their siblings to go to college. And look at what the outcome was.
Yeah.
You have Pearl, who becomes the press secretary to the president of the United States, right? You
Hmm.
have Adam, who is doing crazy stuff. You have Fire, who is doing crazier stuff than Adam. Then you
Well,
have
Timothy and Opal really controlled the money
Timothy and
because they
Opal
invested
controlling the
well for
money.
the
You got
family.
Matthew, who is controlling the education, the kids, and the education. You got Ruby, who is helping the homeless folks. And you got Luke,
Yeah.
who said, I'm going to take care of all of y'all. And he went
Right.
into
He played
the NFL.
football.
Right. He went to the
But
NFL.
you remember Adam had mentioned something when he was talking. I think it was to Joshua or Samuel, maybe both. Um, when he was trying to explain to them why he did not want them to shadow him, and he said he's the youngest, and so he thought at least he could maybe outshine Matthew, because remember Matthew had one of those jobs that wasn't like
A
of the
teaching job.
government, at the teaching job. And he said, but even Matthew is even superseding what he thought, he would do. So in a way, I kind of felt had a little bit of a heartstring pull with Adam when he said that, just like I had for Matt too when he had the same conversation. But it was
Right.
like, wow, I'm the younger brother, and here I am trying to carve off, but now I got these babysitters, if you will.
Every, and the other part
Right.
about Sammy and Joshua babysitting, so to say, Adam was twofold. One, anything happened to Adam, they had to deal with Sally.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Sally was a true mama. She is a true
I
mama
was
bear. Because at that ceremony, that post ceremony thing, when he said, "Mama, I can take care of myself. I'll be fine." She gave him a look like, and then she looked at them. It's like,
she looked at them, you know what
and
to
they were like,
do.
"Allie,
Right. You know what to do.
she didn't even have to open up her mouth."
You know what to do. Listen, all of us are mamas, and we done had that look. Yeah,
Right?
baby, I know you can take care of yourself. You, be-
But
you
did she
better
look?
handle
Did she
that.
look? Did she really look at him and say, "Baby, I know you can take care of yourself," or did she look at like, "I got this"?
Uh-huh.
You just pipe down.
Mhm.
That's the way I took it. You pipe down. I got this.
But I also like
Mhm.
how Jade, because we haven't discussed this. Jade and Adam is a twin. His twin sister
Right.
is
Him
Jade,
and Jade.
and how Jade was always there to make sure anybody come after Adam, even her
Mhm.
brothers. They
Yeah,
come
she
after Adam.
was. She was
You got to deal
always.
with Jade. You got
Right.
to deal with Jade. How many times did Matthew get kicked messing with
Yeah.
Adam? Right. And so you always had Jade there to make sure he looked good, and she put on his fedora, and she always encouraged him
Yes,
in
she did.
Yeah.
everything that he did, and he always encouraged her too.
But
So
then Fire said he better not wear that fedora because his mother wasn't going to like it when he was going to see the president.
yeah, but he wore it anyway. He
Yeah,
wore it.
because Jade said it was okay. So
That's right. If Jay said it was
That's
okay.
all that mattered.
So now we have Adam at the FBI. He's going for his training at the FBI, and he meets these people, and these people are, some of them are kind of like, oh, it's one of the Lassiters, the
Mhm.
great Adam Lassiter, and da da da. And he walks in, yeah, that's me. He said, you got a problem with it? It's me, it's who I am, da 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 da. But then when his brothers come in, remember when his brothers came, when Samuel and Joshua came in? I
When it
can
came to class with
Samuel
them,
was teaching. Samuel was teaching one of the classes, and Joshua came in. Adam was
I
like, he
like
could
how
have
his classmates protected him. They all
oh
blocked him
yeah,
from his
yeah.
own brothers.
yes, yes,
They didn't care who it was.
it did.
Right.
So
And then
that
Adam was like, he don't want his friends to get hurt. So
that
he
was
got up
that
and
was
went with his
really.
brothers.
Can you imagine going to a place where your brothers, your big brothers, have already made huge names
Hmm.
in this place, and now one of them is your teacher? Remember, Samuel was his weapons teacher. Remember,
Right.
So
He
could
didn't
you
even need
imagine
Samuel
that?
later on.
That
Yeah.
we're gonna get to that
Come to
scene.
find
I
out.
love that scene. I love that scene. I love
Me
the scene
too.
when they get in the car, and you know how Genevieve usually says to Joshua, "Oh, Joshua this, Joshua that, da da da." Adam gets in the car,
Yeah. But
and she
she
goes,
knew
"Oh, the
Adam was
great
the
creator."
mastermind of her
Yeah,
creation.
Adam was the great creator. He was the only one in Genevieve's eyes that overrode Joshua. And we know how in love Genevieve was with Joshua. And when they got in the car and Genevieve overrode Joshua and listened to what Adam was saying
And it was in Joshua's car.
in Joshua's car, you know. So that was hilarious. But the other scene that was really crazy was when they left him in the car.
Oh,
Yes.
that was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorites because I love how his mind. I love the whole science behind the way he did it. He didn't just go
Great.
out,
Yes.
and fight with the gun. So they fought with guns, with the ammunition and how to shoot and all of that, how to aim. He fought with the scientific way. But listen, when he calculated all of that stuff, the trajectory, the wind, and all of that, I was like, oh my God,
Yes.
that is just too much. I would have been dead. I just would have been shot because
Yeah.
I could not.
And I was saying to myself, what the hell Iris doing? She
But
man
it
gonna
made
get
sense
himself
for
killed.
him, though. It made sense for him.
It did make sense for him.
It,
It
but
did.
that's the only way that his mind. That's the way his mind operated on everything. You know, he didn't just go and shoot a gun. He's one of those guys. You got to feel the wind. What direction is the wind blowing? You know.
But the beauty about that was he did it so effortlessly and right on point, spot on point. And then he did it with a little
And
bit of
so
movement
cool.
and
He
everything.
was very cool about it. He was walking boom, boom, boom. And Joshua Samuel was like, what the hell is he doing?
Ended up saving them.
Right, he did.
You know?
Yeah.
He ended up saving them, you know, and they were supposed to be protecting him. And then when all of this stuff happened, then remember when his roommate got killed.
Oh, that broke my heart. That broke my heart.
Yeah, me too.
When the roommate got killed, and then you know, he realized he really was going to have to leave the FBI only after a day or two. You know, now let's talk about that fool. That turned out to be okay. What was his name?
Flex.
No, that was Flex. That was the roommate. I'm talking about the guy that was in love with Amber. Well, in awe of Amber, he wasn't in love with her. What's his name? The FBI.
Pierce.
The FBI. Yeah.
The FBI agent. How about when Adam hypnotized him?
Well, how about Ned?
Yeah.
How about Ned let him?
And we couldn't even see what they was all seeing. That got me. I was like,
because
everybody else
his mind was closed. And what Amber, you know, Amber couldn't understand why he couldn't see it either. And Adam explained this because his universe is here. Our universe is here. You know, so we can see things out here where he can only see what's right here. You know, so when he hypnotized him, he could have hypnotized him to do anything.
And that was
anything, but he didn't. All he did was expand his mind's view. That's all he did was expand his mind's view a little bit. And once he did that, he was able to see J-Malt. Because remember, J-Malt was a minister. You couldn't see it unless you knew what you was looking at. It's smaller than a fly. You know, but Amber could see it. Not only could she see it, she could hear it. You know?
She was like.
But Amber throughout the whole thing.
Like a fly.
Yeah, she had, and I'm assuming she had this training from her mom and her dad because they were, you know, military people. So, but the hearing is a very important thing, and I think what we've seen on TVs when we're watching these spy shows and stuff like that, that's one of the things that they will do. Is like listen, close your mind to everything so that you can hear what's going on around you. And that was her whole thing. That was her safety net. Because even when she came in with her mom being assaulted, that's what she had to do. She had to close down her mind and hear what was going on, know where to go, where not to go. You know what I mean? So I think, like I said, between her capabilities and Adam's capabilities, they were a perfect match.
They truly were. And then when the other scene that really gets to me is when they were at Joshua's house when he got fired from the FBI, and he left and he went to Joshua's house, and they had to explain to Sally what happened to her baby in the FBI, and then Amber and what's his name, Brett? No,
Brett. I think it was
Brent. I know it was a B, but and they actually came there in support of him because, really, to be honest, I mean, I understood the agency's position because they have to protect everyone that's there, and Adam being there because they knew the people was after him, really did put others in danger, you know. and then they had to end up letting him go. But he was the one. Remember that meeting? They called the meeting at 6 o'clock in the morning, and
Mhm.
Amber was like, "Why?"
5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, was it 5 in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was
Yeah.
up there. But and she was in there, and then that big brain Ned.
Yeah, it was good to see
I
Ned.
love Ned.
Yes,
Ned.
it was good because we didn't know what had happened to Ned after his
He
place blew
really
up.
needs to be
Right,
on
and that's
film.
the first time he showed up after
Yep.
since then.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was it. So now you had these two big brains. You had Ned in that room, and you had Adam in that room. You know how much brain power? How much brain power that
Mhm.
was? That was inside that one room. And then the way that he came
True.
on to Amber, and Brent saw it right away. He did not like Adam, did like nothing about it because he
He
saw the
didn't.
attraction between Amber and Adam right away. Right away.
That's true. And what was funny to me was that Brent partner was what
Callie.
secretly in love with him,
Mm-hmm.
and she was always with him, and he couldn't even notice her. He didn't even notice her. Anything like, boy, open your eyes. So
He was
when he
into
couldn't see
Amber.
that,
Yeah, he was. Yeah, because why do you
yeah,
think Adam had to hypnotize him?
I
Because he
think
was.
the mother egged that on, though.
The mother did.
I think the mother,
The
yeah,
mother. Oh, we got to talk a little bit about the mother. We don't have much time left. We got to talk a little bit about the mother and the mother's attitude towards
yes.
Adam, and Adam's mother.
And
She
what
had
she
never
said to
even
him,
met. She had never even met Sally,
mhm,
or
never.
anything like that. And
He
she
could
had.
afford to lose a kid. I was like, oh my gosh, who would ever say that to a person?
Yeah,
You know,
but you know what?
I,
I think throughout this entire series, the Lasseter, a lot of people sleep on the Lasseter series because of where they live, where they came from. It's 12 of them, da 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 da. But if you take the Lasseters out of the country, it is no way we survive.
Wait,
You know what I mean? And
for
isn't that
real.
true?
this woman, yes, she had 12 kids, and yes, Amber was an only child, but I would entrust my child to those 12 kids before I'd entrust them into somebody else, especially a branch.
Right.
You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Especially a branch.
Yeah.
And the other thing we have to talk about Amber, and remember it was Amber who saved her mother. Do you guys remember
Yeah.
that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You
Yes.
remember that whole story that came down after that? Because her father was military.
Mm-hmm.
He had
Right.
did some
Right.
covert operations, and someone came after the mother, and it was actually
Yeah.
Amber
And Adam was the first person she ever shared that
ever
story with.
shared that story with.
Well, she
Yeah.
didn't
And I
probably
felt
know what
she
kind of
needed
an impact she was making by telling that story. She was telling the story to kind of help him out.
Help him.
But I really
yeah.
believe, though,
It helped.
it helped
It
her
helped
too.
her.
Yeah, because you some stuff you just can't hold on to. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
Right. Right.
And that's
Right.
true.
But I kind of felt Amber's pain when she loved Adam and her mother was so against Adam, and you could tell her and her mother was close. So I think that was kind of like torture for her to make a decision. She's gonna go
Yeah, but
against her
even
mother.
after this man had saved a country. Now, this was after they had to go over to Africa. We got to talk about that.
Right.
We gotta talk about that part because that was where he got to meet Sly, and that was when he really got the
Mhm.
fedora. He really got the okay on the fedora because Sly passed his fedora
Yeah.
on to Adam.
Which I
So
thought was so cool. So cool
yeah,
that
and
was.
also
Yeah.
we really have to talk about Akande because he came over and they did what they did. Akande bought them that home.
Mm-hmm.
That was her gift
Hmm.
to them, and that was a hell of a home.
Yes, it was.
Hmm.
A hell of a home that she
That
bought.
was the home.
Oh,
I think his house is better than Joshua's house.
now that house, and the other thing about that is you guys haven't gotten this part of the story because there's still some things coming with the Lassiters. But they had a tunnel built from Adam's home to Joshua's home. And I'm hoping that when you guys come in July, when you come in 2 weeks from now, I'll be able to show you that area so that you can see just how Joshua's house is on this side of the Potomac, Adam's house is on this side of the Potomac. So you can see how it was possible for them to have that tunnel that led from one to the other. But Adam,
you want to take us to the tunnels?
No, MsPrissy. There's no real tunnel that I'm aware of. Look, that I'm aware of. But I also know that if I can think it, it's already been thought of by somebody else.
Yeah, that's what I always say about books and movies.
Yeah. If I can visualize it, if I can imagine it, somebody else has already thought of it. But I'm going to show you the area so you can see where it would be possible, because we're going to be on the Potomac. That's where we're gonna be. But anyway,
the Potomac holds a different thing for me. If when we talk about the Potomac, I go right back to Vernon's book when he said what he was going to do. That's every time I say Potomac.
Remember on the car chase? Remember the car chase when it was going from DC? Yeah. That's the whole area. That's the whole area where Vernon and where the Brook live. All of that is all the same area, right? But anyway, see, now you got me on Vernon.
I'm sorry, but that's where I go to immediately when somebody say Potomac River. That is where I go to immediately.
I can understand that. But with Adam now, Adam was also that person that went into another country. Let me say this again. Went into another country and was able to save, with Amber, was able to save a little girl. Amber saw from Joshua's house on that monitor, when she saw Teddy, she knew exactly what needed to be done. So they took Amber over there to save Teddy, Joshua's daughter, Teddy. Yes. They took over there to save Teddy. But at that same time, the paddlers was being attacked by these generals, these same generals with the J-Mont thing. And the whole thing was about greed because they wanted to control the diamond mines.
Which we thought we were over that when Teddy and the king got together. But here we go, Americans going in someplace where we don't need
because they knew that small country, they knew how small the country was. They knew that they could take their military. It wasn't the United States military, but it was members of the United States military that got together on this conspiracy to go over and get control of those diamond mines.
Yeah, and it was so easy for us to do because we had an open invitation to that country. So we're going in that country supposedly as friends. Yeah.
As friends. Ended
up being foe.
Right.
Yep. So we have to look out.
What other part that I liked that was kind of funny, when they was on the plane, Adam and Amber, he was upset because she knew how to break a gun down and how to use it. And
he didn't, right? He didn't know how to do it, right?
And he did it. He was like, what the hell? I can see him as a man, his pride was probably little.
There was a lot of surprises when it came to Amber.
Yeah.
Amber knew how to handle the weapon. But remember, she was the daughter of a military man.
Yeah. It was only right that she would know how to do that.
She would know how to do that.
And it was a good thing she did know, because she saved her mom. But Adam wasn't feeling that at the time.
And
That was
let's
real
not
funny.
forget Monique's role in this story too, because Monique,
Yeah.
at at that time, Monique had just came out of training underneath of Joshua, because we're coming out of Joshua's story, right?
Mhm.
So she was coming out of training in this particular one. And her role, she was over there messing around with Levere, but we're gonna leave that alone for a minute. Anyway, so she was over there in Africa, and her job was really to oversee Akande, the thing with Akande and Rashid, the new marriage that was
Right.
taking place there, making sure that things went smoothly, making sure security was kind of, in place. That was Monique's whole
Yes,
job
that was
over
great.
there. Right.
Right.
And it was because of Monique and Amber. Amber saved Teddy. Monique saved Akande.
Akande. Yeah.
Akande.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
she got shot in the process, but she saved Akande.
Yeah, Joshua wasn't happy about it. Neither was Sly.
No.
They wasn't happy about that when they found out it was Monique.
Yeah.
It was like, But
Yeah,
the other
we
thing
got a
too,
problem. We got a problem.
yes.
But remember,
And
it was
the other
also
thing,
Amber who got Teddy out of there. Remember, they
yeah,
put Amber in the
yeah,
chopper.
she did.
They got
Yes, she
Teddy
did.
out of there. Yep.
I
Yep.
have
That was
forgotten
a good
about Amber getting shot until I, reperuse through here.
No, it
You mean
wasn't.
I mean, Monique.
Monique got
I'm
shot.
sorry, Monique. I
Yeah,
have.
Monique got shot. Mm-hmm. And they was hot about that. JD was not happy either.
Oh no, that's his
you
niece
know,
too.
about all that. Yeah. And then when Adam gets back and he is being told that he has a new position.
Oh, you know what? When they walked in that house, when they walked in that house, and then when Sly, gave him that, that whatever,
The
I don't know,
fedora.
food or whatever, that was like,
Yeah.
oh wow. And
Yeah.
at that point I said, you know what, this is him. He has found his spot.
He has found who he was. It's so many pieces to this story, because remember how they went to the general's house? It was Xavier and Adam and Joshua.
Yes.
I'll tell you, what y'all think y'all
Okay,
doing?
yeah.
What y'all think y'all doing? Joshua was it Joshua or Sly? It was Joshua.
It was both of them.
Sly
It was both of them. Yeah, because remember Joshua asked me, what would you give them, 8 or 9 or 10 or something like that. So it was both of them.
Because remember, the
And they were saying not to pass the car.
They still wanted Adam. Even after the thing that happened in Africa, they still wanted Adam. And remember, Adam and Amber were together. They were in the elevator, or something. And the general,
where he was
came after them. And he got up in the general's house.
He said, I thought you would, the general said, I thought you would be impressed. Adam said.
Adam was way more arrogant than even Joshua or Samuel was when it came to.
He really was.
When it came to people of power, he didn't care.
He didn't care.
He didn't.
He sure
didn't care. Remember when they were at the
White
House?
That's why he was called in about exposing that library thing.
Exposing the what? I'm sorry.
The library, when he blew the general's thing up, and he exposed it. He got called in.
Y'all, I forgot about this right here. This was funny. And we skated over this, because we always miss something.
We always do.
But listen, we're gonna go back up, y'all. I told you, I didn't promise y'all that we wasn't gonna skip, but we're gonna go back up to kind of the beginning.
I think I know what part you want to talk.
I'm going when he went when he was brought to the president, to the White House.
That's what I was going to.
Gabby says, about his dad needing to take a nap.
Oh my
so,
God! They just
listen,
screamed.
so it was Samuel, Brian, and Joshua,
Joshua.
and they said they left Adam with Gabby, right?
Yeah.
A little girl. So
Right.
how much trouble could he possibly get
Yeah.
into?
Anyway, she had a tablet. She had some electronics. There's a lot of trouble she could have got into.
That's
And
true.
you know what? When I first read it, I thought, "Oh my Lord, what is he gonna give her?" Because he probably think, it's nothing. Just to get the people what they want, right? And I said, "Oh my Lord, she gonna be blowing up stuff, opening up doors, and all kind of stuff." That's what I thought. But then when she had that conversation about the nap, I immediately went to what he did with Pierce. I was like, "Oh Lord, this is even worse."
Look, when she said, Mama said Daddy better go take a nap or something before she take him out. I almost cried. Wait a
Oh
minute, I
my
know I
God.
wrote it, but it was just hilarious when I was writing it. And then when they walked up in the room and everything, Gabby is sitting there and they're looking around, and they said, "Well, where's Adam?" And she said, he went to help Daddy take a nap.
Take a nap.
They told tail out of there. Can you imagine them 6'4" guys running through the halls of the White
And
House?
Brian didn't even know what he was running for because he didn't know.
That is true. And then you got Secret Service on alert. They pulling their guns out and everything. And then so Adam is in the room because he didn't already walked off and found them. And so they having this conversation or whatever. And then they just bust in there. He don't know what's going on. But he does go to take
JB
a
was
nap,
like,
and then they like, and Brian was like, get your brothers, man,
Get
because y'all keeping up too much ruckus,
And then they had to explain to him because Adam is like, "What's the problem?" Because he didn't get what the problem
he
was.
was upset that they think he would do something to hurt the president.
Right.
That was funny.
I think
But I want to go back a little bit
feelings
more.
was
This
a
is
little bit
time.
hurt about that too, you guys. I think when they thought that he would do something to hurt the president, I think his
Yeah,
feelings.
he was hurt. It certainly was. But I just want to go back a little bit when they was in the other country and they was fighting and everything.
You said what, MsPrissy?
Well, I said I want to go back a little bit when they was in the other country and they was, fighting to protect, and then they took Teddy with them to, to keep us safe and everything. And you know how astute Adam was. Joshua didn't think Adam was paying attention to know that Teddy was his daughter. He said, I think you in more trouble than me once you explain to your mother that you have a kid.
Oh, yes.
Joshua.
But at that point, it wasn't. Akande never confirmed. Akande really never confirmed with Joshua that was his child.
Really never did.
She can never say it because Teddy is
uproar in her country.
And part of what's holding that country together is the marriage of Akande and Rashid, right?
But look, they forgot all about that when in Matthew's book when Joshua thought that she was missing from the bus.
No, wait a minute. He didn't forget. He didn't care. He wanted to bring it back. Bring it back right now. It's not gone anywhere, Joshua. Bring it back where I can see it. Bring it back.
And you know what was so funny about that scene is that he knows about stealth. His helicopter goes in stealth mode, but at that moment his child was involved. He could not see the forest for the trees. He was
in daddy mode.
Yeah,
forget stealth mode. He was in daddy mode.
Yeah,
that's it.
That was too.
That was funny.
That's it. But then we got to go towards the end of the book when he gets the call about Joe.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets the call about Joe and Joe getting yeah. Then we got to go there, and when that thing happened, because remember this story coincides with Ruby's story.
Ruby's story.
Yeah.
Right.
It coincides with Ruby's story. And so in this book, you go into a lot more detail about what Adam and Joshua did at that hospital. So you go into
Yeah.
a little bit more detail there. But wait a minute, before and I know we run out of time, we didn't talk about the proposal.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah.
proposal at the
So first I
dining.
want to
It
say
was
when this
Christmas.
series,
Was it Christmas dinner? A Thanksgiving Christmas dinner?
I think it was Thanksgiving. Christmas dinner? No, it wasn't Christmas
No,
dinner because
no,
they was
it
in the
was
hospital
it was
during Christmas. It was Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving.
it was a
it was
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Because I
I
remember
think,
this is when they're in the kitchen and Joshua is introducing Teddy to Sally and
yeah.
for the first time.
Right.
And Ruby comes in
Right.
mad because we know, she's mad about what was going
Yeah.
on with Devin. So it was Thanksgiving, you're right. Because he wakes up at
Yeah.
Christmas. So you're right, it was Thanksgiving. And
Right.
and they're standing in the kitchen and Ruby come up in there and Ruby's looking at Joshua and Adam like, which one of y'all done did it now? You're always doing something. What you did? And Adam was like, I'm going this way. And Joshua was like, I'm going this way too. Because they didn't want to have to deal with
He was
Ruby.
just glad to get off the hot seat with his mother about Teddy.
Yep. So that was when she learns about Teddy. Is at the same Thanksgiving where Adam actually, he does ask Amber to marry him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and he did it right there with all of the family and everything,
But he didn't do it the traditional way.
He did it the traditional way.
No, he did not at first. He said, would you be the yin to my yang or the yang to my yin?
Well, yeah.
And she was like, yeah, she said, yeah. And then she said, wait, is that a proposal? Is that a... So no, he didn't use the regular wording.
That was his way of talking. And then remember, she was the logical one. She always, it has to be black and white. Everything had to be, organized and black and white and da da da. Even remember her apartment. Remember her condo was black and white. Remember? And Adam was the one that brought some color, into her life.
Yeah, that's what I say. He brought some color in her life.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing. That's at Thanksgiving dinner when Teddy was there and they were sitting at the kiddie table. And Samantha told her.
She said, I need my food cut.
Yeah.
Samantha was like, well, you better get to cutting. No, you have to cut my food. And Samantha said, you won't eat.
Well, you won't be eating, honey.
You won't be eating.
I know exactly how she feels too.
And then Zoe, the littlest one, the 2-year-old, gives her bread. I thought that was so cute, but it was so funny.
It was a lot of really serious moments in this story. It was a lot of coming of age because to me, Adam's story and Fire's story to me were both coming of age stories. Adam was stepping into his purpose.
Yeah.
He was stepping into his purpose. And for the government, the United States government, to recognize at such a young age, remember, Adam's younger than Amber. That's the other thing to remember.
Yeah, he was only 24 or 23, and I think she's 4 years older than him.
Yeah, she's younger than Adam. And for the government to recognize his ability and wanting to have no qualms of putting the control of this agency into this man's hands.
Right.
That was something else. And which, here's the funny part, he ends up being Joshua's boss, which leads us to the beginning of Matthew's book when he is putting Joshua on suspension.
Oh,
What happened? Oh, that is funny. So now you had Adam, who is Joshua's boss, right? And now in the administration, you have Fire,
Who is all of their
who
bosses.
is everybody's boss. And it's the two youngest ones. Now remember,
Boss lady.
Adam is the one that JD kept. He's the only Lassiter that is not a part of the administration yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
He is still a part of JD's administration, So that's the one that he kept for now, right? But who's there with them? Ned.
Yeah.
Ned is with Fire's organization, right?
Right.
But now this is I'm just gonna throw that out there, y'all. But now when that administration is over, Adam will be a free agent.
Yes.
So where will he rank? Because we know he's going to the administration, because why wouldn't he, right? But where would he rank? Will he rank below Fire or above Fire?
Okay, now I'm gonna give you a little nugget, because every now and then it's just something I have to do. Okay. Adam's not going to the administration.
Ooh, okay.
Adam is going to be handling space explorations.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a little bit of a nugget out there.
Honey, I hope y'all catch this, because listen, this is probably an exclusive right here.
That is my plan in my head. Is Adam is going to be going, because he's playing around with the satellites already.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing the what's it called, MsPrissy? The McFadden and Whitehead hologram stuff. Hologram stuff. And he's controlling it from the satellite that they own. And remember when they did Fire's proposal? It was done from the satellite.
Yeah, he had the thing. Yes, he did.
Satellite and everything. Okay, I have gotten the TikTok at least twice now, and I think we have to bring our discussion to an end. Even though, guys, you have to go out there and get the Book of Adam, Hypnotic. We discussed a lot of things that was in the book, but we have not touched on a lot of things.
Yeah.
That is in
a
lot of things that's in this book. So when you get a chance, go out there and get a copy of the Book of Adam, Hypnotic. You can find it on my website. From there, you can get it from any retailer you want to get it from: Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Kobo,
Apple,
Google Play, Apple, you name it, you'll be able to get it from there. So you go to my website. So, ladies, before we go, real quick, MsPrissy, did you get us some music this week?
I did.
Okay, what you get?
I got for Amber and Adam, Robert Winters Falls, the song. I just had it. What's that song? We were singing it. Robert Winters Falls. I can't remember the song, and I just looked at it. Go ahead.
You look it up. MidnightAce, tell us what wine you paired with the Book of Adam.
I got us some 1924. I got us some Scotch Barrel Chardonnay, honey. And if y'all know Chardonnay, you get that little buttery thing. Although the Scotch kind of little took over the buttery thing, but it was still good. This is something I keep on hand. And here, let me read a little something for you. Just a little taste here. Americans would not be denied their favorite beverages during the drinkers sipped wine on the sly, and Scotch flawed over the border. So this was when back in the time where it was prohibition. So they had Scotch in here in the wine. But listen, these are daring people who kind of like inspired this wine. So we got inspired people, we got daring people inspiring this story and things that help our country. So today's wine for Hypnotic is 1924 Scotched Barrel Chardonnay. Pick up a bottle.
Thank you, Midnight.
It's the Magic Man.
Oh, yeah. Good. Yeah. Perfect song. Perfect song. Yeah. Adam is the Magic Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, MsPrissy, while you have the mic, go ahead and tell people where they can find you in social media.
You can find me Facebook, Instagram, and all the other social media platforms. And you can reach me at my Gmail, that's styleset.et@gmail.com. That's style.sett@gmail.com.
Thank you, MsPrissy. Midnight Ace, where can people find you?
You can find me when I am not hanging out with these ladies at www.MidnightAceBookBar.com and all the social media platforms at Midnight Ace Book Bar. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and YouTube. And also my website for the shop at Custom Creations.
All right, now, my name is Iris Bolling. You can find me at www.irisbolling.com. You can find me on Facebook as Iris Bolling, on Instagram as Iris Bolling, and on Twitter as Arthur I Bolling. We want to thank you all for coming and joining us on this week's episode of Well, There You Go. And we are. Hi, I'm Iris Bolling.
And I'm MidnightAce.
I'm Cara Morris.
Welcome to Well, There You Go, a weekly discussion on books, hooks, and courts, where we give our views on reads, music, and wine. So let's get started with
Well, there you go.